Hey, ladies and gents. So, the Critics' Choice Awards the Critics' Choice nominations are on the 8th of February. As you've probably noticed over the past week, I've been putting my reactions as well as nomination predictions on my channels for all of the precursors to the Oscars. So, Golden Globes. So, I've done the Golden Globes, I've done the SAGs. I'll be doing the BAFTAs, the Oscars themselves, of course, the WGA, the PGAs, the DGAs, and now the Critics' Choice. Critics' Choice are a bit different to the Oscars. They can nominate up to, I think it's around about 7 films in each category, except for Best Picture, which is 10, and it's always 10. It's not like Oscars where the maximum is 10, but it's 8 and 9. And I think that's fantastic, because the problem with the Oscars, they're limited, so they can't honour all of the great performances, technical achievements of the year. Whilst Critics' Choice, everything that deserves nomination usually squeezes in. I must apologise for me wailing the mic around. I'm actually sat in my bed right now with a load of cushions keeping me upright and my back from aching. It is middle of the night, I'm knackered, but I've got to get this done for you guys. So for your sake and mine, let's get on with it, starting with Best Picture. Looking at this, the first thing you'll be wondering is, why do I have No Man Land at 1 and Charlie Chicago's on at 4 when I have that as a front row for Golden Globes and Oscars and the PGAs as well? Basically, No Man Land feels like the critics' film, and so does Minari, and so does Sound of Metal. Every now and then they'll surprise you. For example, they gave Once Upon a Hollywood last year Best Picture, which is probably the most pleasery mainstream film out of the 3 main contenders for Best Picture, those being 1917, Parasite, and Once Upon a Hollywood itself. So for that reason, I've got them higher than Chicago 7. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's going to win here. I don't think it'll affect its Oscar chances, because even though winning Best Picture at the Critics' Choice can be good, for example, Spotlight only won Best Picture at the Critics' Choice before going on to win Best Picture at the Oscars, but it's not the end of the world if you don't, and Charlie Chicago 7 just probably isn't winning here. Number 5, 6 and 7, I'm fairly confident on. The Father and Promising Young Woman also seem like critics' films. I'm tempted to put Promising Young Woman higher, but then when you've got that top 4 and then The Father, it's quite hard to put it higher. But I'd say those top 6 are for sure locks. One Night in Miami I wouldn't say is a lock, but it's very likely it's going to get a Screenplay nomination. So a Screenplay nomination along with Best Picture is an unknown. It happens basically all the time, every year. There's usually that one Screenplay film that gets in. Judas and the Black Messiah I'm worried about. I know it's been picking up acting awards, but that's it. I've only seen it get nominated for song and Clue's performance. At the Golden Globes and at the SAGs, it didn't get drama picture and it didn't get cast ensemble, so it makes me worry that maybe not enough people have seen it and they're just going off Clue's word as why they're voting for it. But I hope that they do. I do think that if the critics did see it, they would nominate for sure. It seems like the perfect critics films, but it's whether they've seen it. Literally, a few days ago, The Five Bloods would have been in the top 5. But seeming of how badly it's been doing, despite the fact he got on an ensemble cast at the SAGs, the fact that Delroy Lundo's been missing everywhere, hasn't got a director, hasn't got a screenplay, not the Golden Globes, it does make me very worried. So that's why I've got it lower. I do think it's going to get in, but I can't say I'm sure. My number 10 pick is going to be The Uncut Gems of this year. There's always one that doesn't get in at any of the other award shows, but Critics' Choice is Shower of Love. And because First Cow is one of the most critically acclaimed films of this year, I'm going to go with that, because I think it's getting director, I think it's getting cinematography. It's a very nice bundle in order to get Best Picture for the Critics Awards. Best Director, either Chloe Zhao or Emerald Fennell are winning, and it's 90% going to be Chloe Zhao. I know that I've said I think David Fincher can win the Golden Globe and maybe even the Oscar, but not the critics. Chloe Zhao has been sweeping, highlighted in bold. I promise you, she has been sweeping the Critics Awards. I think she's only lost out on 3, and who should be losing them to? Emerald Fennell, which is why she's my number 2. She could win, because I do think the Critics' Choice Awards within themselves are a little bit more mainstream than the critic circles, but still, it's Chloe Zhao's. I don't have him in for the win, but yeah, David Fincher feels getting nominated. Lee Isaac Chung's for Minari. Minari's very much a critics film, so that's getting in. Florian Zeller for The Father's a more risky pick. You have to very much focus on the film to appreciate the directing, but I hope more than anybody else that the critics will be the people that do that. So for that reason, I do have Florian Zeller quite high. I know a lot of people would strangle me to death over this, but sometimes you just gotta have faith. Number 6 for Spike Lee for The Five Bloods. Hoping that The Five Bloods is okay at the Critics Awards. I do believe that Spike Lee will get in. If it goes as planned, which it hasn't at the previous ceremonies, those being Golden Globes and SAGs. That being said, this is the critics, so if it goes as planned, Spike Lee will get in for director. And then Chloe Wright shout for first cow, because like last year, when Uncut Gems got into picture at the Critics' Choice Awards, so did the Safdie brothers. Best actor. Yep, you're seeing this right. I haven't made a mistake, haven't gotten the wrong way round. I have maybe a little bit too much faith that Riz Ahmed really has a strong shot of pulling this for Sound of Metal. He's been the critics' darling, along with Delroy Lindo. The reason why I don't have Delroy Lindo higher, even though he has been probably the main person sweeping the Critics Awards along with Riz Ahmed, is because he hasn't got SAG, he hasn't got Golden Globe, and usually the Critics' Choice Awards within itself sort of aligns with the other precursors. I still think he'll get nominated, but I think him winning's kind of out of the question, to be honest. If he does, I'll be over the moon. I said it once, I'll say it again. He's my favourite performance of last year. Number 3, number 4, obvious. Anthony Hopkins, Stephen Yeun going to get in. They're another 2 of the critics' darlings. And then number 7 is my other risky pick, Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. I've heard he's also nearly, equally, if not a little bit less as good as Daniel Kaluuya and Judas and the Black Messiah. So provided they've seen it, I think it's a very strong shot of getting in. Best Actress. The 4 acting ladies of this year. Frances McDormand, Carey Mulligan, Vanessa Kirby, Viola Davis, getting in. No question in my mind. Sophia Loren for The Life Ahead was probably going to happen. Antonio Banderas wasn't looking likely for the Oscar nomination because it was lost out on Globes and SAG until he picked up on the Critics' Choice nomination, which is why I have Sophia Loren here. I believe if she gets nominated here, along with the BAFTA, that'll be her ticket to an Oscar nomination. Like I've said, just getting Critics' Choice nomination is not enough to get into the acting race. But if she can get this in BAFTA, she has a very strong shot. Andra Day for the United States for Speed Holiday, she just got the Golden Globe nomination. I've heard she's fantastic. And then my number 7 is a coin toss between Sydney Flanagan and Zendaya. But I've gone with Sydney Flanagan because she is the critics' darling of this year. She has been getting a lot of critics awards, and I really think she can get in. If she gets nominated, I won't be surprised at all. And rightfully so, she deserves it. She's fantastic. She should be in the Best Actress conversation for the Oscars. Best Supporting Actress, Mira Bakalova, Borat's subsequent movie film. If there's one place she's going to win out of these main precursors before the Oscars, it will be Golden Globes, because she's campaigned in lead. But in terms of the ones she's campaigned in supporting, Critics' Choice for sure. I believe critics are really going to appreciate her performance. I really think she has a strong shot of winning. That's not until you remember her competition is Olivia Colman, Yo Jong-un, Amanda Seyfried, Ellen Burstyn, Glenn Close, all fantastic actresses. It's a shame that they all can't get in for the Oscar because they all deserve the nomination. I'd say her real competition is Olivia Colman for The Father. She kills it in that film, and I can see Olivia Colman potentially sweeping. And I find it incredible that we're going to have another year where it's Olivia Colman versus Glenn Close, especially because Glenn Close could become that surprise one person who just starts to sweep everywhere, and then it could just be them two versus each other again. Wouldn't that be something? Yo Jong-un is probably going to get in here. Bear in mind she just got the Screen Actors Guild. If she doesn't get it here, I'll be fucking shocked. Amanda Seyfried for Mank. She may have missed the SAG, but sometimes the SAGs don't nominate future Best Actress, Best Acting winners. I mean, Regina King, who was also in Best Supporting Actress, she didn't get BAFTA or SAG for If Beale Street Could Talk, and she won the Oscar, so I really think that Seyfried can do the same. It has definitely affected my thoughts on Seyfried winning, and because Burstyn's been losing, it's the reason why I have Olivia Colman as the frontrunner to win the Oscar now. She for sure still can win, it's just not the question. Ellen Hansen for News of the World, because she's been getting everything so far. I don't know, I put number 7, so it makes sense to have her. It wouldn't be too surprising at this point if she got in. Supporting actor, provided they've seen the films, Daniel Kaluuya is probably winning from what I've heard. I haven't seen it, I need to make it abundantly clear. He kills it. He is like the J.K. Simmons of this year, where it's just going to be like, here you go, Daniel, have it. And then my number 2, maybe this is wishful thinking, the fact not only the prediction makes sense about the fact I'm so high on my predictions list. Paul Raci, this is the place he'll get nominated. Even if he doesn't get BAFTA and Oscar, he will get nominated Critics' Choice. The Critics' Choice are for sure going to have seen Sound of Metal, and they're going to appreciate the film and his performance. He's going to get in. I think we can rest our case. I will be deeply, deeply upset if he doesn't get here. Leslie and Julian Wolf on Night Miami and Sacha Baron Cohen of Charlotte Dark 7, because they're the frontrunners for the Oscars as well, so it's sensible to have them here. Bill Murray from On the Rocks, Chadwick Boseman to Five Bloods, and then my number 7, another one I'm picking. I know a lot of people heavily disagree. David Stringfellow from Nomadland. If they love Nomadland, which I think they have a massive chance of really loving, he could really get in. He's in it enough where the nomination won't be completely unjustified. Oh, here we go. Best Young Actor and Actress. I've got 4, and then I don't know about the rest. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. If this was the 4 and they just couldn't nominate anyone else, wouldn't surprise me. But Helen Sanger for News of the World is your front runner. She's probably going to win. Agnes Kim and Noel Chu. I'm really sorry if I said your name wrong. For Minari, they're definitely going to get in. And then Owen Astolos. Again, mate, sorry for saying your name wrong, but he'll be LG. Yeah, I say he's going to get it as well. He could maybe become a sleeper winner, just out of surprise. Best Ensemble Cast, The Charles Chicago 7, One Night Miami, Minari, or Marini's Black Moment, or maybe The Five Bloods could all be the winner. The Five Bloods would be the more critics' choice. The top 4 are all equally very strong ensemble films. It's probably going to be Charles Chicago 7, but it's anyone's game. And my number 6 and 7 are actually my number 4 and 5 for the SAG that I had. Fair enough, they didn't get a nomination, but remember, they could be up to 7 nominations. So I've got Judas and the Black Messiah and Promising Young Woman. Best Adapted Screenplay, Nomadland or The Father are going to win. It's probably going to be Nomadland, but The Father is a very well acclaimed film of this year. It's definitely the more screenplay-y film, and in my opinion, the better written film. But if they love Nomadland, even if they don't love Nomadland, it's the frontrunner to win the Oscar. It'll be fucking not very smart of me not to predict Nomadland. One Night in Miami is probably going to get in. Same with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, because the competition this year in adapted screenplay in particular is dead. My number 5 is Something of Ending Things. I really think it's going to get in here. I think it's got a good shot getting in for the Oscar, and I definitely think it will get in here, to be honest. It is a fantastic screenplay. It's definitely a critic's film and definitely a critic's screenplay. So for sure, I'm thinking of Ending Things. Can't see why not. And number 6 and 7, First Cow, Borat subsequent movie film, just because First Cow could become very popular with Critics' Choice Awards. So I think smart to have it here. And Borat subsequent movie film because, like, what else? The Prom isn't getting it. Ammonite's not getting it. It's the only thing that seems sensible to have at number 7. Original Screenplay, Promising Young Woman is actually my number 1. I really think it could win this. If Promising Young Woman becomes as strong as a film as Something is in the Oscar race, it could win the Oscar for original screenplay there. And to be honest, I think it has the edge for Critics' Choice because people love Promising Young Woman, and if there's one place that's going to honour it and give it the Screenplay Award, even if it's not the Oscars, not the Golden Globes, WGAs or BAFTAs, it'll probably be Critics' Choice because they seem to kind of appreciate, alright, this is a very biased thing for me to say, but they often give the better screenplays the award. Like last year in adapted screenplay, Greta Gerwig won for Little Women, and then Taika Waititi won everywhere else. Sorry, Taika, I like you a lot, mate, but I didn't like Jojo Rabbit. Minari and Mank, yeah, they're getting in. Minari's a very well structured screenplay, whilst Mank's a more screenplay. Sound of Metal and The Five Bloods are also kind of the more structured screenplays. And then Soul's my number 7, because it could happen. I feel like if I was told by some person who went to the future that Soul's going to get nominated at one of these places, I would predict Critics' Choice. Cinematography, you know what? I think Nomadland winning here. It's between Mank and Nomadland. Mank's definitely the more showy cinematography, but Nomadland has the better and more beautiful cinematography. The Oscars may go for Mank because it's full of older people. Okay. Because I feel like if they haven't updated the category enough, it will be a lot of older men in particular, and they'll just appreciate Mank a lot more. First Cow has fantastic cinematography and use of colours, and I really think it's going to get in here, even if it isn't like a Critics' Choice darling like I'm saying it might be. The Flybuzz and Ma Rainey's Bottom, News of the World, First Cow, I feel like will have an equal shot getting nominated. Tenet could also get in here. Oh, made a grave mistake. The Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, and Tenet are just all kind of sensible films to have at 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're frontrunners for the Oscars. There's no like, apart from First Cow, there's no like critics cinematography film. Production design. Mank is absolutely getting nominated and it's absolutely winning. There's been only one film that's won at the critic circles in production design. And do you know what film that is? Mank. And this is Critics' Choice Awards. It is just a lock if I've ever heard of it. Man Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, both fantastic uses of production design, are probably going to get in. Emma and the Father, because Emma's a period piece, and I feel like even it's period piece and the Critics' Choices Awards don't nominate them as much as the Oscars or the BAFTAs would. I still feel like they'll appreciate Emma, especially because competition's a bit dead. The Father are number 5 because I feel like the Critics' Choice Awards are going to be the people more than anything else that are going to look at the Father and appreciate why the production design's great and how the production design is most of the film and how it's a character of itself, a bit like Parasite. And then when someone like Sky and Tenet, because it's a bit like, what else, you know? I don't think United States for Spolly's getting in. The Prom's not getting in. Ammonite's not getting in. Birds of Prey's not getting in. No way. Best editing. The Trial of Chicago 7, I've gotten number 1 for now because it's the only like obvious editing film they could give to. They could give it to Nomadland, but in my opinion, I can understand why Nomadland get nominated. I'd say it deserves it, but Trial of Chicago 7 is the better editing. I think it's probably going to win here, because it's the only like. To be honest, either that or maybe Nomadland, the only ones that like really deserve it. Promising Young Woman, I'd say deserves a nomination, but is it win worthy? No. Mank, no. The Father, no. Sound of Metal, I'd actually say yes, but I don't think that's happening. But at the same time, it could be like one of those critics wins happen. You know, last year it was costumes for Dolomite's My Name and editing for 1917. So to be fair, Sound of Metal could happen. I am tempted to put it higher maybe. And then have The Five Bloods at number 7 because Black Klansman was a big editing film, and even though The Five Bloods doesn't seem like it'll be as big as Black Klansman, it does change the fact that The Five Bloods is meant to be a big critics film, and if it does get in at Critics' Choice Awards, then I'd say editing's a very likely shot. Costume design. Marie's Black Bottom is probably your winner. It's sweep the Critics Awards. Its only competition is Mank and maybe Emma, because Emma's the more obvious one. It's a very period piece, very colourful, but nah. It's going to be Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, maybe Mank, but Ma Rainey deserves it, and I hope the critics do the right thing. News of the World and Mulan for being also period pieces and like that, being very showy costumes. And same goes for United States versus Billie Holiday and the Personal History of David Copperfield. Personal History of David Copperfield, I'm a bit about. I could definitely see this one being 6 or maybe even 5 nominations because I'd say there's only about 5 worthy nominees. Makeup and hairstyling. I've got Hillbilly at number 1 for now because it's the most obvious one. And Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I say they're both a coin toss for the one that's going to win the Oscar. And then my number 3, I'm thinking of Ending Things. That's very much a critics nomination that's probably going to happen because of the old people makeup. The reason why I'm fairly hesitant it's going to get in for the Academy is because they don't seem to like horror films. It's the reason why I'm not predicting it for Screenplay at the moment, because they do not like their horror films. They nominate Get Out, yeah, but that's basically it. When was the last time you heard about a massive Oscar contender that's a horror film? Like, yeah, a lot of horror films come out these days are shit, but at the same time we've had some great ones like Get Out and Hereditary, hit Midsummer, Us, all films that could have been Oscar contenders but just weren't. Borat, subsequent music film, and Birds of Prey both have fantastic makeup and are gonna get in. You know, Borat, subsequent movie film, bearing in mind that's because of Maria Bakalova, and maybe the screenplay will probably also be just purely a critics film outside Maria Bakalova. So I see that's why he's going to get in here. And the United States vs. Billie Holiday because 100 day. Visual effects. This category is struggling. I've got the one and only Ivan and Mank for 6 and 7, but honestly, don't predict. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if there's only like 4 nominees, but I'm not even sure if they're allowed to do that. But it will definitely be 5, I reckon. And this is the top 5 you should expect. I really see The Invisible Man could win. It's the most interesting use of visual effects, and the Critics' Choice and the Oscars love that. And I really think it could win the Oscar. I feel like it'd be in 1917 with people not even predicting it, and then all of a sudden it becomes the front runner. I'm not going to spend too long on this because you know what, it's a crap category and it just doesn't deserve our time this year. Best animated feature. Number ones, two, three, four, and I'd say even five because they can be up to seven are for sure getting nominated. I feel like an idiot for not predicting Croods for Golden Globes. I shouldn't have had Willoughby's. I've learnt from a mistake. I'm having Croods in my top five for Critics' Choice and the Oscars, which I already did. Sean finally getting an Earwig and the Witch seemed like the most likely Critics' Choice Awards films. Like the Golden Globes are more likely to go for something like Trolls or Willoughby's. Not that they got nominated, but I'm just saying they'd be more likely people to go for something like that. And the critics are more likely to go for something like Shaun the Sheep and Earwig and the Witch. Best score. I really hope Soul can get in for the Oscar because it deserves the win. I've heard that there are issues and it may not be eligible. I really hope that doesn't happen. But at Critics' Choice, it's going to be Soul. And if it's not Soul's Mank, either which way, Trent Reznor and Cross are going to win. So, good news all round. It deserves it for Souls. And the best case scenario would be it wins for Souls. Because Souls, the best case scenario would be that it wins for Soul. Because that is the best score. But if they won for Mank, it'd be like, oh well, at least they win. Minari and Defy Bloods are probably getting in, even if Defy Bloods is a big contender because Defy Bloods has a very kind of showy score. They make a big thing of it in the film, and because it's Terence Blanchard, I don't feel like they'll be able to resist. Moonlight Sky because Alexandra Desplat, Tenet because of Ludwig Göransson, and it is a fantastic score whether you like it or not. And then The Trial of Chicago 7, that's just my throwaway number 7 spot because maybe. Best song. Speaking Out from Miami is probably winning. Its only competition is Seen from the Live Ahead. That's because Diane Warren's overdue. But when you have a song like Speak Now, I don't think that's going to be enough this year. I have heard people say that like this is like the first year in a while where like the song category isn't obvious. Like last year, we could have given it was I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man. The year before that was Shallow from A Star Is Born. This time round, we don't really know what to do. But to be honest, in my opinion, I think it's obvious that Speaking Now is going to win. It's the main song from a front runner of one of the top 5 for Best Picture, and the song has a meaning. You leave it with it. They make a big thing of it in the film. I'd say it's winning. I'm fairly confident it's winning. Him Always from Charlotte's Clock is 7 because it's getting nominated everywhere else, and it's one of the front runners for Best Picture. Rocket Swing for the Moon because everyone else predicting it, so it must mean something. And then 5, 6 and 7, just take your pick really. Eternity on Democracy is actually a really good song, and The Other Side from Trolls World Tour, so I'd happily take that. Last of the proper categories, then we go into the exclusively Critics' Choice categories. Okay, foreign language film, another round is absolutely winning. Unlike the fucking Golden Globes, Minari won't be here, thank God. Live Ahead will for sure get nominated. I'm No Longer Here seems like a film that get nominated. And then Collective, Sun Children, Night of Kings, and Crusaders Adida. Because when it comes to foreign language, you never know what they're going to pick. If I'm being honest, I picked them purely for the fact I did my research a little bit. They seem like the most likely to get nominated at critics. Alright. Best comedy film. I'll tell you exactly how I've decided this one. Whichever is the most critically acclaimed film, and then a bit of a mixture of pure comedy films, get nominated here. This is why I have Borat subsequent movie film, 40-year-old version, An American Pickle, The Prom, Fat Man, Birds of Prey, and then my hopeful pick, which probably won't happen because they'll probably forget about it or may not even be eligible. Best action movie, Tenet, because it's Tenet and it's probably going to win. The Old Guard, Wonder Woman 1984, Extraction, Mulan, Birds of Prey. Because they're all pure action films, all probably going to get in. They were like the 6 most pure action films that we got in 2020. And then 7's Defy Bloods because they may weirdly count it as an action film. It did just get in at stunts for the Screen Actors Guild, which does make me lean towards that's what they may think. And finally, sci-fi or horror movie. Tenet, because it's Tenet and they can nominate them twice. For example, Avengers got action movie and sci-fi. Invisible Man, which could win. 1984, Midnight Sky, Project Power. I'm thinking of any things I've got here because you think I have it higher, but because it's not a pure horror film, they often like to give it like the pure like comedy or horror, which is why last year Rocket Man. Why last year Dolomite Is My Name won over Once Upon in Hollywood for comedy film because it's a more pure comedy film. And then Black Box because it could happen. The critics may love it. Okay, ladies and gents, that was my Critics' Choice 2021 films nomination prediction. I'm sorry that I wasn't so uppity tea for this one. Middle of the night, I'm knackered. I've got to edit this together and then schedule it for probably Sunday. If you got it earlier, then you'll know. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Until we meet again, ladies and gents, so long.